Good morning from Fast Company. Here's our daily look into what's driving today's creative business leaders. The road to employment continues to get longer for Gen Z job seekers as they experience a frustrating job market. Data from the U.S. Census Bureau and U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics shows that in June 2026, the unemployment rate was 5.7% for recent college graduates between the ages of 22 to 27. Young workers overall in the same age group accounted for 7.2% of the unemployment rate. Those are both higher than the unemployment rate of all workers at 4.7%. Worse, when many Gen Z job seekers do secure an interview, they say they're met with multiple interview rounds, lengthy job trials, or a recruiter ghosting them. We seem to hear more often about what Gen Z job seekers are doing wrong, rather than how behavior from recruiters is causing job seekers to lose hope. Both during and after job interviews, Gen Z applicants are facing a particular batch of roadblocks, with some tensely awaiting whatever could be the final straw. What's most frustrating is getting a call back for an interview or screening, having employment interest expressed towards me, and then being ghosted for a week or two, says Patrick Daniel, a 23-year-old job seeker based in Atlanta. After sending references, keeping in touch with the recruiter, and even showing knowledge about the company, Daniel just gets left hanging, he says. This consistently discouraging experience has affected the way Daniel approaches his job search. For the past year, he's decided to focus on networking and face-to-face interactions, whether it be with a recruiter or with alumni from schools he's attended. Daniel's not alone. A recent report from the online career platform and resume builder Live Career found that out of 1,000 U.S. workers, 45% say a potential employer stopped communicating with them after they've entered the hiring process. And indeed, job seekers are experiencing ghosting at every stage of the process. Live Career's report found that 19% of job seekers were ghosted after an initial communication. 22% after one or more interviews, 12% after completing a skills test, and 13% after being told an offer was coming. Danielle, a 29-year-old working in public relations in New York City, relates to Daniel and says a lack of closure after a job interview is frustrating. Danielle asked for her last name to be kept private to avoid being identifiable to future employers. She would like to know the reason why she gets rejected as a candidate despite meeting all qualifications and prerequisites on paper. I wish there was more transparency into that process as a whole, she says. While ghosting is just one manifestation of that, a formal declination from a recruiter does not give me a sense of closure in entirety. Why is the question that still lingers. Quick communication is key for today's job seekers. According to a recent ZipRecruiter report of 1,500 job seekers across the U.S., 49% of job seekers expect to hear from an employer within 3 days of applying. In addition, 67.9% of job seekers wish employers would give a fast response, whether it's a yes or a no. Receiving a good or bad response in a reasonable time allows job seekers to move accordingly and focus on communicating with other employers. But for Gen Z, many of whom are looking to properly launch their careers, that time may feel of the essence as job search discouragement continues to mount. Some companies have not been receiving great representation lately when it comes to job interviews or applications. One Y Combinator startup promised interviews to applicants who got permanent tattoos in a hiring stunt that prompted real conversations around exploitation in the job market. And recent encounters with inappropriate interview questions or other awkward instances are evidence across other fields for Gen Z candidates as well. Mame Asante, a 25-year-old job seeker based in New York City, had a recent job interview with a well-known charter school where she received live feedback. During her interview with the principal, Asante recounts, she said, "I had a monotone voice and said she was being more expressive than me." This comment displeased Asante since it didn't connect to her ability to do the role she was interviewing for. After this comment, Asante says the interview ended pretty early. In another interview, Asante said the hiring manager was openly distracted and seemed to be doing something else off screen. Not sure if she was on her phone or doing work, but I was talking and realized she was looking elsewhere, Asante says. In an already historically tough job market for entry-level job seekers, many in Gen Z keep bumping up against recruiters or hiring managers who act like they simply don't take the candidates seriously. An aptitude research report based on data collected in 2024 found that 82% of recruiters lost talent due to a poor interview process and highlighted issues with standardization, bias, and consistency. A bad interview experience can deter a candidate from continuing to pursue a position. Gen Z job seekers are experiencing ghosting, inconsistent communication, and odd interviews that disrupt their job search process. This occurs at a time when the average number of weeks a U.S. job seeker remains unemployed, as of July 2026, is 24.9. That's 1.2 weeks longer than an average of 23.7 weeks 6 months prior. And when you're looking for work, every extra day can feel like an eternity, regardless of how old you are or where you are in your career. That's all today from Fast Company. Talk to you tomorrow.
Spoken Layer.